my brothers and sisters, because I got a couple of ladies in the comment section wondering why I never acknowledge them. Brothers and sisters out there. Brothers, I want to, the comment section of my last video, most of it was positive, but you got way too many emotional Dak Prescott fans spamming in my comment section, like typing multiple comments, multiple paragraphs, and I'm like, bro, I ain't reading all that shit. Come on, man. You can tell they're emotional because they're spam posting. They're like, ba 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 ba. I'm like, man, come on. The Dak cult is, for lack of a better term, fucking weird. It's almost it resembles a homoerotic, like it has tones of homoeroticism. You know how fanatical this Dak cult is. They're so fanatical. It's unbelievable. You can't really reason with them. You can't use logic with them. You can't use past evidence with them. You can't use anything with them. They're just gonna ride with Dak till the wheels fall off. And that's the man crush bromance shit that y'all got with Dak Prescott. That doesn't have a place in professional sports. The NFL is a business, first and foremost. First and foremost, it's a business. This is not about your love affair for Dak Prescott. And one thing I need to address right now, because a lot of people have comprehension issues. They have comprehension issues, and they put things in my mouth. They don't understand what I'm saying, and I'm just like, nah. I have never said that Andy Dalton was better than Dak Prescott. I've never said that. I think Dak Prescott is the better quarterback, but not by much. Not by much. And the thing is, Andy Dalton would be better for this team because you don't get much of a production drop off from him, and you can pay him a fraction of the price that you would pay Dak Prescott. You can pay Andy Dalton $18 to $24 million. Possibly even less. Jay Cutler took $10 million for the 1 year he played for Miami. You could get away with paying Andy Dalton $15 million. With Dak, you have to pay him $35 to $40 million. Brothers, you mean to tell me he's $20 million better than Andy Dalton? Are you really going to tell me that? A couple of days ago, Andy Dalton threw for nearly 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, 377 to be exact. That's Dak-esque. Is he really worth $20 million more dollars? Come on, man. And then also, you got people in the comment section saying, well, Andy Dalton, he's doing this because, he's got all these receivers. He's got all these weapons. I could do that if I had all these weapons. Okay, so why don't we apply that to Dak Prescott? Because I remember back in 2017, when Ezekiel Elliott was suspended for 6 games, Dak struggled mightily. Mightily. I remember at the beginning of 2018, he struggled mightily. We had to trade a first-round pick to the Oakland Raiders for Amari Cooper. When Amari Cooper showed up, that's when Dak took off. And then in 2019, Andy Dalton just crushed the Philadelphia Eagles a couple of days ago. Dak Prescott lost to this team last year in the NFC East Championship game. This same team. Andy Dalton destroys that team. Dak Prescott, with a fully healthy team, lost to that team 17-9. Andy Dalton has a shit fucking offensive line. He has to quick release. He has to get the ball out of his hand quickly because he knows this offensive line is trash. The defense is much worse than it was last year. And he's dealing with a myriad of injuries all over the team. And he destroyed the Eagles the other day. Dak Prescott, with a healthy team, lost 17-9 to the Philadelphia Eagles practice squad. And he lost against Carson Wentz. And look where Carson Wentz is now. He got benched for a rookie. Brothers, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Paying Dak Prescott all of this money, you can't. And the thing is, a lot of people say, oh, well, the defense was shitty. That's why Dak Prescott, couldn't win these games. The offensive line was injured. That's why he couldn't win all these games. Brothers, if we pay Dak all this money, and I feel like I'm a broken record. I'm trying to drive this into your mind. But look what I'm working with. I'm working with fanatical Dak fans. They'll never understand logic and reason in business. They'll never understand it. So I'm talking to the wall right now. But hopefully some of you can have the intellectual capacity to understand this. You say that Dak couldn't win all these games because the defense was trash, the offensive line was trash. How do you expect to rebuild the defense? Because every level of the defense, the defensive line, the linebacking core, and the secondary needs to be rebuilt. Jalen Smith is trash. DeMarcus Lawrence is trash. Alden Smith hasn't been showing up. Leighton Vander Esch, we don't even know if this brother is getting injured like Sean Lee now. And don't get me started on that secondary. That secondary is hot garbage. How are you going to rebuild the defense when you're going to give Dak $35 to $40 million? How are you going to rebuild this offensive line because Tyron Smith looks like he's on his last legs? You don't know how reliable Zach Martin will be. You have to rebuild that offensive line. How are you going to do that when you pay Dak all that money? How? And also, brothers, the salary cap is going to come down because the NFL has been losing revenue. They've been losing revenue because they can't allow fans into the stadiums because of the coronavirus. COVID-19 is wrecking shit up. People aren't buying as much merchandise because we're in an impending economic crisis due to COVID-19. And also, don't forget people who are in Colin Kaepernick's corner, people who protest, they let go of the NFL as well. Those are three things that are attacking the NFL's revenue stream. And that's why the salary cap is going to go down. So if Dak demands all this money, that's gonna hurt the cap even more. And brothers, we have three priorities. We have to rebuild the defense, the offensive line, and the talent that we do have, we have to make sure we don't lose them to free agency. How are we going to do all of that if we pay Dak Prescott? Brothers, Dak Prescott is better than Andy Dalton, but not by much. Andy Dalton is a 3-time Pro Bowler. Andy Dalton went to the playoffs 5 straight times. Andy Dalton nearly threw for 400 yards the other day. I'm not saying he's better than Dak Prescott, but he's pretty damn close, and you can pay him a fraction of what Dak Prescott wants. It makes sense. Brothers, it makes sense. Let go of the fandom, the fanaticism. Let it go. Let it go. It doesn't... man, I know I'm wasting my breath. And for the record, I probably already said this, but I do not hate Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott, he's a fine quarterback. I was once his biggest fan, which was a mistake. You should never be a fan of another man, ever. It's a travesty. It really is. But I was once a fan of his. Brothers, at the end of the day, we're fans of this team, and we want this team to make the best decisions possible. The only way it makes sense to bring Dak Prescott back is if he decides to take less. And when I say less, 25 to 28 million. That is the only way it makes sense to bring him back. If he doesn't agree to that, another team has to pay him. Another team has to pay him. As simple as that. Brothers, Dak Prescott went 8-8 last season. And he went 1-3 this season. A lot of brothers try to add that Giants game. He didn't finish that game. That was Andy Dalton's win. Andy Dalton finished the game, sealed the game with that beautiful throw. He was 1-3 the start of this season. Last season he was 8-8. He only has one playoff win. One. He only has one playoff win. Just one. Just one. Do you really want to pay $35 to $40 million to a quarterback who's only got one playoff win under his belt? Lost to Green Bay. Lost to the LA Rams. And in 2017, he was mediocre at best. And in 2019, he lost to Carson Wentz in the NFC East Championship game. And look where Carson Wentz is now.